Good evening from Johannesburg. I'm Kulego Khanyi. I'm the founder of Ungazibulale Depression Support Group. Welcome, let's have it out. Tonight, every night here on NCA, a variety of different newsmakers will get their chance to host this program and give you a chance to get involved in a discussions. Unfiltered, uncountable, and accessible. It's all start now. Today, I'm talking to a positively with depression. It can feel like you are barely existing. Everything feels more challenging. Going to work, socializing with friends, or even just getting out of can feel like struggling. When you're dealing with depression, one of the most important things you can do to yourself, other than medication, therapy is developing a strong support, but where those others start seeking support, is that help enough? My guest is the radio DJ Vukani Masinga, better known as Chili M. Be joined by Kini Pasha, a board member from spokesperson from South African Depression and Anxiety, SADAG. But first, we want you to get involved in a discussion. Here is how.
Tweet us at ENCA using the hashtag LHIO. Call us on 011-759-6340 or send us a WhatsApp or WhatsApp video on 082-884-6370. And make sure those videos are no longer than 30 seconds, please.
Chili M, welcome to NCA.
Thank you so much for having me. Let's have it out.
Thank you. When did you realize you're living with depression?
Well, I wouldn't say that I'm living with depression. Depression has been something that has been going on for a very long time. First of all, we need to understand what caused the depression before me accepting that I am going through a depression. Look, right now it's a topic that everybody is talking about. We know exactly what happened, and that is why we are here today. Depression is something that is inherent. From my understanding of depression, it's something that moves from generation to generation, and somehow it is a disease. And that is something that we as a society need to actually be aware of, that depression should not just be, taken as something that is very taboo, as maybe something that just happens to a few of us. A lot of people go through depression without being aware of the fact that they are depressed. So with me, I've been living with it for a very long time.
Tell me, Chili M, were you diagnosed with a medical practitioner, or do you think it was a witchcraft, a depression?
Not at all. Look, with me, I'll be honest with you, I've done rehab on a number of occasions. Okay. So part of rehab, they teach us, I'm a recovering drug addict, an alcoholic, and still is, and also going through depression. And I'm glad to actually admit the fact that I am going through depression as we speak right now, because there are certain things that I can do and there are certain things that I cannot face on a daily basis. And that is what I understand about my sickness. And once you understand what you're going through, then you realize that, okay, this is what is happening in your life. So just to answer your question that, was I diagnosed? No, I was never diagnosed, but I saw people that were around me in rehab. Now, rehab, you've got people that are addicts, and you've also got people that are going through that depression.
Do you think what was the cause of being depressed, Chili M?
Look, I'll be honest with you. The first thing that I realized I was going through a depression, it was the loss of my daughter. I lost my daughter on an accident. I lost my daughter at the age of 1. And when we were driving back from Hartebees, and after that, my life sort of spiraled into being an alcoholic because I was trying to shy away from the depression mode. And then from there onwards, it spiraled to me being more addicted to drugs and more drug usage. So it was those type of patterns that actually ended me up to being where I am. And unfortunately, that happened to actually affect even my workload and my job as a whole, because I got fired on numerous occasions from different station to different station.
Tell me, did you seek any help from your family, from their community? any counselors?
Not at all. Funny enough, people judge you. We are living in a society that is very judgmental.
Okay.
When you scream out for help and you say to people, hello, I'm going through this, people tend to think you're an attention seeker, and that is not the fact. So in terms of community being supportive, no one was there. But fortunately, I come from a family, my sister, who I had a conversation with earlier on, who was just telling me about actually depression. She's a clinical psychologist. She was just explaining what it is and what it means to be depressed.
And Chile, what are the things that you pick up that you are depressed? What's triggered you?
Well, to be quite honest, you know, there are certain patterns that happen. When you're depressed, first of all, it's lack of sleep. And then from there, it's loss of weight. And remember, society is very judgmental when it comes to loss of weight. People will look at you and like, hey, you say losing weight, something is going on there. And that actually even puts you much more in that corner zone. And you're fighting society, and then you're trying to run away from depression, but you're still picking up your hand and saying that I am depressed. And that is exactly depression. And
actually, tell me something. Do you think the cause of the depression, maybe it can be the lifestyle, the pressure at work, the society? Do you think many celebrities, public figures are suffering with depression?
A lot of people go through, you know, certain... I think, yes, we can say it's because of the industry that we are in, but that is just a little bit of a contribution. That's like a 20% drop of the contribution towards your depression. Depression as an overall disease. Remember, disease does not choose what you do for a living, but it's how you deal with it that is really the cause, and that's the point of departure, where we need to unpack and underpin what depression is all about.
Okay, hold on till I've got a caller from Naledi, Frank from Naledi. Yeah. Hello, caller.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes. Good evening.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, I want to know, how can we educate our society at large, more especially in the townships, about depression? Because I've seen there's a trend among the youth. They are depressed, but they think culturally. I will find young boys and girls going to this route of being traditional healers at a very tender age. And when you look at it, it has to do with some mental problems, but people think that how can we deal with the situation so that people can really identify depression and separate it from our cultural beliefs?
Thank you, Frank. I think later we're going to have somebody that's going to advise the viewers at home that knows better about such support group, Nkini Pasha. And Chile, tell me, were you crying when you were depressed? Is there anything that you were doing that was...
You know, when it comes to depression, I'll be quite honest with you. There was no tears, but it was just a matter of me escaping from what I was dealing with on a daily basis, the daily challenges of life, normal things that normal people can do. I could not do them based on my mode of depression and what I go through and what I do to actually shy away from what I'm going through at the time. And that affects even your whole pattern. And also remember that when it's a sickness like that, it also affects people that are around you, because you forget certain basic things of life. You forget being sober. You forget about basic things like picking your child up at school. You're late on certain things. The change of, you even change your phone number so people can't reach you, you know. So those are things that happen, not necessarily to cry yourself to bed and stuff.
And thanks for sharing your story. We're still going to continue after a break. We'll be joined later by the spokesperson from South African Anxiety Group, SADAG, Nkini Pasha, after the break.
Thank you.